Goodness. We're all so quiet today. Okay, it just got cold in here. I have had to buy so many sweaters because of Mr. Wallace. Morning again. Morning. Clear? Vin's here, the next one's here, Louie's here, Nicole's here. Yeah, not great. No, you're not. He's just here. Where's Andrew? Anybody see Andrew? Did he walk in? Oh, that's right. I was here today. Here. Yes, I can't take multiple buildings. Wonder what the rule on that is. I want yellow boots. I have always wanted yellow rain boots, and I could never find them. That's what I'll do. I have to get yellow boots next year. But these boots have lasted like forever. You don't need to buy new ones if you still got your old ones. There's Andrew. Get out of here now. You love fruit? How do you like them apples? Just kidding.
You're fun.
What? Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much. Right, you too. Bye.
Libby.
It was trying to scare you. Okay, Daichi, Miss Savage has called.
Okay, for your request.
Today's a boring day.
Well, I'm about to make it exciting.
I forgot
Because we are going to review your notes.
No, I'm gonna play Fortnite.
How you guys doing today?
Pretty good.
Let's put away our cell phones for this review. Thank you. Libby, Vanessa? Now I need you to put away your cell phones. Tai, put it away. Why?
Yeah.
Because I said so. Because I'm the teacher. And because I can.
Did you pay my phone bill, Mr. Walken?
That's irrelevant.
So let's put my phone bill.
I'm merely exercising the rights that are vested to me. So Tai, please put away your cell phone.
Okay.
Ernesto, I need you to put away your cell phone. I just want to get one day where I have your undivided attention, where all we're going to do is review, so that you guys can take a final, midterm tomorrow. And I want to know that I know that some of you have missed classes, and I can't help that, but at least I gave it the old college try, that I can live with myself, yes.
Do I need to make copies for you?
Are you going to be here tomorrow?
Yeah.
No, they can be made in the morning. Okay, there'll be an easy one. So I'm going to decide what I'm going to put in it or not. So have we put away our gadgets? Tai, are you not going to put it away?
What are you talking about?
The gadget, your cell phone?
My headphones on my ears.
Do you not understand what put away cell phone means?
Yeah, I do.
You do. Okay. So why are you bringing up the headphones?
Because they were on my ears.
But I didn't ask you about your headphones.
That's part of putting away.
Really, you want to go here?
Yeah.
That's part of putting. Oh, so you had to do that first.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. I can live with that. Ernesto, is yours put away? Is it off your desk? Because if you don't put it away, then you know that's going to create problems. So just today, I'm just asking you today, listen, I usually let you guys use them with the headphone in. I want absolute undivided attention. Okay? Now, just so you guys know, I don't care if you have one headphone in, as long as the cell phone's put away and you can hear me as we do this. All right. Let's begin with rounds. What did you have for dinner last night?
I had,
That's quite an impressive thermos you have there.
I had steak, Brussels sprouts, and a salad.
Was there gravy involved in any of this? Okay. Devin?
I have fried onions.
I didn't hear that.
They're homemade.
What is? I didn't hear what you said the first time.
I have homemade French bread.
Homemade French bread pizza. Thank you. Samantha?
Chicken, white rice, first meat with gravy.
With gravy. Tai.
Lasagna.
Was there garlic bread involved?
No.
Okay. Ernesto? Nicole?
Had breakfast for dinner.
I'm gonna guess hash browns?
Yeah.
Pancakes?
Yeah.
Toast?
Cereal.
Toast. Scrambled eggs? Bacon? Coffee? Yeah, okay, that'd be my breakfast. Okay. Did you have like orange juice with it? Oh. Milk? Gotcha. Was that it? Nico? Hot dogs. Ooh, did you have ketchup with them? Shame on you. Anything else? Potato chips? You guys crush potato chips and put them in your hot dog?
No.
That doesn't sound good to you?
What?
Crush potato chips and put them in your hot dog?
How do you put it in your hot dog?
Well, you kind of, well, how do you put chili on chili dogs? You pour it over the top, right? So you just sprinkle potato chips over it. Or you kind of open up the bun, put potato chips, kind of line the side of the bun in between the bun and the hot dog, and then close it up and eat it. You've never done that?
No.
Try it sometimes.
Why?
I think it's delicious. That doesn't sound good to you? That's fine. You don't have to try it. When I say try it sometimes, I'm not demanding that you try it. This is different from your cell phone. I could demand that you put away your cell phone. I can't demand that you put potato chips, so I just say try it. Assume goodwill. Assume I'm telling you something that you might enjoy. That's why I'm sharing it with you. That's why we do rounds.
I didn't have anything for dinner.
You know what we should do during rounds from now on? It just occurred to me, this would be a great idea. You tell us what you had for dinner last night, you break down the cost for that meal. How much did it cost for you to eat what you ate?
What happens if you don't know?
Then we're going to find out. So like if, let's say Nico, I'm going to take something
We're
easy.
wasting class time doing that. We're wasting our learning.
Why? I want it to become automatic, so you think about it the night before, you don't have to do any of it. So Nico says, okay, how many hot dogs did you eat?
4.
You ate 4 hot dogs. How much is a pack of hot dogs?
Like $1 something?
No. Well, they can be inexpensive. Okay, fair enough. Do you know how much your hot dogs cost, a pack of hot dogs? Any of you guys ever bought hot dogs before?
What happens if we say that we don't go food shopping?
So what could you do?
You want us to ask how much you pay for some hot dogs?
You could ask your parent, how much do your hot dogs cost? I'm sure they could tell you. Ernesto, what are you whispering to her?
Yeah.
Are you trying to egg her on to keep questioning? Just keep questioning Wallace. F him, that phone-hating SOB. So a pack of hot dogs is going to be about $4.
Or you can look it up.
Or like,
Or you could look it up. So about $4 might be cheaper. You can get, depends on what brand, okay? So right now they're going for around $4. And there's usually how many hot dogs to a pack?
it's
It depends.
six. Six.
10. Thank you.
Six.
Unless you go
No,
to
there's
Costco.
10. You
Well, it
buy
depends on,
some-
no, she's right. It depends on what you
I
buy.
know.
It depends on the kind that you buy. So here's what we're gonna take. The typical pack of hot dogs
It's eight.
typically comes either 8, and some of them are now going to 10 because of the whole bun thing, right?
Some has to get 13 or 12 pack.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I've seen them.
There could be, I know, there could be any configuration. I'm gonna say now. So let's say you got 8 hot dogs. So if they're $4 a pack, how many dollars worth of hot dogs did you eat? $4 a pack, 8 dogs per pack, you ate $4. Do the math.
$4.
What's that? No, it's $4 for the pack, and you ate half of the pack.
$2.
$2. So his meal, just for the hot dog, excuse me. This class going on. Just for that, this is quick microeconomics, people. You just break this down, and then maybe you don't have to ask your parents. You look this up. Excuse me, Ryan. Thank you. $2 for the hot dogs. How much for a pack of buns? About $2. How many buns did you use? 4? How many buns come in a pack of hot dogs?
Eight.
I mean, a pack of buns.
Eight.
Okay, 8. So let's go with 8. Hold on.
Those would be some really small buns.
So it's half. So right now we got $2 for the hot dogs. We got $1 for the buns, and then you had ketchup too. Okay.
Ketchup.
Now, yeah. Was it only ketchup? Ketchup and mustard. So you're gonna have to buy condiments. Now, here's the thing. Was it just a squeeze of each?
Wait, what if you don't like mustard?
You don't have to have that, right? But we're trying to break down a meal. So let's just go 2 cents for condiments. So right now we got, well, because if you buy a thing of ketchup at say $4 and you just use a squeeze, you're gonna get a lot of squeezes out of it, right? So the cost of condiments is gonna be negligible, okay? But, I mean, it's still a real cost, and when you look at, when you buy something, like if you eat hot dogs every day, that's 2 cents, 365 times 365. And when you factor that into the cost of living, it can be significant if you're only making minimum wage. Remember, guys, this points back to what did you learn about your minimum wage at $10 an hour and your cost of living? Were you guys meeting your basic needs with your budget? The answer to that was barely, okay? So any change to that can have an effect. That could be the difference between whether or not you have ketchup with your hot dogs, or whether you're eating 4 hot dogs or 2, whether you're not even buying hot dogs. Got it? This makes sense? So you should be able to do a simple breakdown of what you ate. You should be able to sit there and say, okay, this is what I ate today. You know, I had 4 eggs. Packet of eggs costs this much money. You can break this down and figure out how much you need to save or how much you need to budget for your food. If you don't do this, then you guys are going to be ignorant of the cost of living. And if you're ignorant of the cost of living, you're going to be susceptible to mistakes in budgeting. You guys following me here? Yeah. And these mistakes can cost you dearly. It can be the difference between paying a bill or not, getting bad credit or not, paying your rent or not, getting kicked out on your ass or not, and not having a roof over your head, losing a job, or deciding on whether you keep a job or not because you need to make more to meet your standard of living. Hopefully this makes sense to you. Okay, so for the midterm, scarcity. Scarcity is
A lack of supply.
excellent job. A lack of.
Unlimited wants and needs.
Gee, you guys are throwing a lot of good things out. A lack of resources. Yeah. It's not, supply is a very specific thing, okay? It doesn't have to be a supply. It could be, scarcity could affect supply, Nicole, but it could also affect things like capital. It affects resources, and resources are part of supply, okay? Name me one resource. When we look at the 4 resources, name me one resource, Nico.
Natural resources.
Natural, that's not, okay, so based on the book though, what's the term that covers natural resources? Land. Ernesto, can you name me another? He mentioned land, what's another resource? Okay, can someone help him out?
Capital.
Capital. 2 types of capital, Nicole. Very good, Tai. There's human capital. Andrew, what's the other type of capital? There's physical capital. Very good. Libby, what's an example of physical capital? Pick any business and explain to me what physical capital means to that business.
Bakery. Oven.
Boom. Devin. So we got land, we got capital, which includes human and physical capital. What's another resource? Starts with an I.
Input.
Excellent. Input. Tyler, can you give me an example of input? Here, pizza place. What's input at a pizza place?
I'm not sure.
Devin, can you explain what input might be? So, physical capital at a pizza place would be the oven, right? Where they bake the pizza.
Yeah.
That's the machinery that allows for production. What's input?
Like the pizza?
Okay, guys, look at me. Input, one second, I'm going to come back to that. The pizza is the product, therefore it is the good. Okay? That's the good that you are producing. One second. Ernesto, because I told him, Ernesto, what did you say?
The buyer?
No. You're overcomplicating it. The buyers, so the consumers, different issue here. Hold on. Tai was gonna say something, and then if she doesn't answer it, I'll kick it to you. Yeah. What would be an example of input? You actually said it yesterday. I don't know if you remember.
Isn't that
Things like what?
the lights and
Nope. Nope. That we
the
don't.
gas and the.
Nope. Nope. This is good though. I mean, you're thinking all of those things do cost, okay? And those are our book. I don't know why this new book doesn't cover it, but those are all part of what they call production.
Cost of the supply.
No. Yes.
The people that work inside?
Nope. That's capital. That's human capital. The input yesterday, Tai, you said pepperoni. In order to produce a good, do you need pepperoni?
Yeah.
You don't go to a pizza place to buy pepperoni, right?
No.
You go to a pizza place to buy pizza. Does that make sense, Ernesto? So the input are the ingredients that allows you to put this thing together, put it in the oven, and sell it as your good. Got it? Where does pepperoni come from? What part of the land does it come from? Does it grow on a tree?
Animals.
Comes from animals. Very good. So that's part of the natural resources.
Pepperoni comes from an animal?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's a cow.
I believe most pepperoni, I'm going to guess is pork. Mostly it's a pork product. It could be a mixture of pork and beef. Maybe it's beef. I don't know. I imagine it's
It
pork.
might depend on the.
What about
Sure,
salami?
sure. Salami. I know that there are beef salamis, like if you go to a Jewish deli, because they don't eat pork, they will sell kosher beef salami. And that has a different taste than regular salami. So I'm going to assume regular salami has more pork product, if it's not entirely pork. To make a salami, because you can make a salami out of any meat. I believe it's the type of seasonings and the type of way that you put it together, and the final product is salami. All salamis will probably look the same. Now the taste will depend on what meat you input into the salami. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we got input, and then the final, Libby, I know that you know this, so please don't blurt it out. I want to hear it from somebody else. The final resource, I'll give you a hint. They are the people with vision, business vision. They're called what?
Entrepreneur.
Boom. The entrepreneurs. Very good. Okay? Now, the thing you brought up earlier, hi, are you going to test in here?
Yeah.
Okay. The thing you brought up earlier, Tai, in the old days, in our old book, one of the factors of production was this thing called the letter P, which was production. And that covered all of, you need the infrastructure, you need the utilities, all those things you talked about, electricity, gas. But for some reason, this book doesn't have it. I guess this book would probably lump that all under land. Okay, Adam Smith. Who can tell me who Adam Smith is? Okay, listen, look at me, guys. Okay? Look at me. Ernesto, remember this. I'm trying to give you guys an easy way to remember this. If I ask you, if you have a test tomorrow and there's a person's name, you know damn well they're going to be an economist, right? Now the question is, which economist is it? So if you see French philosopher, don't mark that one. If you see Polish historian, don't mark that one. You know it's going to be an economist. You got two economists that I've thrown at you this semester. Next semester, I'm going to throw at you two more. You have Adam Smith, the father of American capitalism, and you have Karl Marx, a German-born economist and philosopher who wrote the Communist Manifesto. Okay? Since I brought those two things up, those are two different, they advocate for two different types of economies. Communism, think com, is under command economy. So if I say, what is a command economy? Think of it this way. This is where the government commands how the markets exist. Does that make sense? Think of it as the government having a lot of control, command. The other type of economy is a free market economy. So think of command and freedom. And in a free market economy, this is the kind of economy we exist in early on in America, It was a free market, what they call a laissez-faire, capitalist free market economy. This is where the markets determine everything. And the government sits back, and that's what Adam Smith said. Let the markets determine, let them govern themselves. And what happened in the United States is there were a lot of abuses against people, and so the government had to get involved. They had to then control and regulate those economies. So here in America, we have, really what we have is what you might consider a mixed economy. There's some regulations, but there is a whole lot of freedom. A whole lot of freedom, okay? And really where our regulations come in, they have to do with taxation. Okay. Adam Smith, Karl Marx, Andrew, they're both what? What are their titles? What? Yeah, they're both economists. So if you see a test and you see their name, you know it's going to be an economist. Adam Smith, that sounds kind of English, right? He's an American economist. Karl Marx, does Marx sound German? He's a German economist. Okay? All right. Remember, two types of economies. Command, which means what, Devin? Means the government has a lot of control, right? They're going to command how the market behaves. So things like communism and socialism. And then, what's the other type of economy? If one is commanding, the other is free. A free market economy. Nico, what are the two types of economies?
Socialism, capitalism.
Now you gave me specific, very good. All right. I was looking for command and free market. But, okay, so let me ask you this. Ernesto, Nico just said socialism and capitalism. Socialism falls under what kind of economy, Ernesto? Is that a command or free market?
Command.
Excellent job. So, Andrew, capitalism would fall under what kind of economy? That was my foot. That was not my own.
Free market.
Free market economy. Were you listening to anything I was saying? No. Well, thank you for being honest. Okay. What is scarcity, Devin? What is scarcity? What are we talking about? If something is scarce, we're talking about it in terms of what? I'll give you two options. Does that mean there's a lot, there's a surplus of goods, or is there a lack of goods within an economy?
I like the best of it.
A lack. It is a lack. Scarcity means a lack. And what we're looking for is if you say goods, hey, Nicole, tomorrow, if you were to put down a lack of supply, I would accept that. I would give you full credit for it. Because what I want to see is you understand it as a lack. It's really a lack of resources, though, right? Because economics is a study of unlimited wants and needs in competition with limited resources. Okay? Adam Smith. Is he an American or a German economist? An American economist. What did Adam Smith advocate for?
I forget.
Okay, what kind of economy? You can remember that. So he's advocating for one of two types of economies.
English,
No.
American.
Okay, good. He's an American economist. He advocated for a free market economy. Karl Marx, you remember what country? Marx? Germany. Advocated for what kind of economy? Command. He didn't say command economy, by the way. That's what economists call those kinds of economies. He was advocating, he was looking at a utopian society whereby the government looked out for the good of all people, whereby everyone was equal, whereby the market wouldn't oppress or leave anybody out. So that's what the Communist Manifesto is about. Okay? It was an economy that would not be affected by something like religion. Karl Marx famously said, religion is the opiate of the masses. Keeps people content with their lot in life. And he saw that as a potential problem. Okay? He saw that as it kept people from seeing the good that the government, that the economy, that the system could provide. And that's why in a lot of communist countries, they would try to completely eradicate or suppress religion. In China, until recently, people were not allowed to practice their religion publicly. It was understood if you did it behind your closed doors, fine, but don't let it go public. Okay? But now China is changing. So now as long as you're not questioning the government, they're probably not going to kick in your door and arrest you. Because they're starting to really enjoy the fruits of a more open economic system. Scarcity. What is a regulation? What are we talking about, a regulation? Who imposes a regulation?
Government.
So the first word is government, very good. What is the government? So what is a regulation? Regulation is synonymous with what word? To regulate means what?
Demand.
What's that?
Demand.
No, well, you can create a regulation that could affect demand, but what does the term regulation mean in terms of government? So what do governments do? This goes back to American government, guys.
They rule.
They rule, so they impose rules. They create laws. That's what governments do. They create laws and they create services. Those two things. So it is a law that applies to what, Nico? It's a government law or rule affecting what? Well, what are they regulating? They don't affect regulations, they affect what? You're creating rules related to what? What are they regulating, Nico? This is an economics class. What are we studying? The economy. So there are rules, there are laws that affect what? The economy. Make sense? Does that make sense? Okay? So here's a regulation. You guys in the state of California, when you go buy gas, are going to pay 12 cents more in the state of California to help fund infrastructure in the state. Okay? That was a rule passed down, imposed by the governor using his executive powers to create this rule. Okay? And then our assembly allowing it to happen. That's a regulation. Alright. What is the law of demand? As demand goes up, what goes down? Very good. What's the law of supply? As supply goes up, does anything go down? What will happen to prices as supplies go up, guys? Nope.
The prices go up.
They go up until they can no longer sustain themselves, right? Like if I'm a business owner and there's a lot of stuff out there and I'm supplying people because I'm producing stuff, why? So people can do what?
Sell them.
So yeah, people will buy them, right? So if they're buying it, it might be imperceptible, it might be a big jump. Hey, well, if I can sell it for $1, why not sell it for $1.05? Oh, I raise it to $1.05 and people are still buying it, so I'm going to still supply it. Still supply. I'm going to raise it to, then what they're looking for is that equilibrium when, all right, now we have the top dollar and now people aren't buying it as much anymore. Those one of two things could be happening. It is because the market is saturated. Okay? Because here's the thing about this world now. With social media, all of a sudden you can have a huge population of people stop buying something. Right? That's the power of a boycott. And it doesn't always have to be a boycott. It could be somebody saying, maybe one person posts a really funny quote like, this thing sucked, right? And then 100 friends post that, and then 1,000 friends post that, and now all of a sudden, no one's buying it. Okay. So law of supply, as supply goes up, prices will go up. Law of demand, as prices go, or as demand goes up, prices go down. Why? Why doesn't it follow like the law of supply? You guys are going to need to know this. I've been talking to you guys about it when we talked about it. We talked about it yesterday. Why does demand, so I want you guys to think about it. Let's say you guys all demand something. So what two things do we assume about demand, Andrew? To demand is to what? Nope. It's to want. I demand this item. Now, in order for me to produce it, what must you do?
Buy it.
You must buy it. So it is the want and the ability to pay for something. Got it? That's demand. That determines demand. It's not the want. People confuse that with demand. Wanting is not demanding. So when I'm business and I'm going to meet your demands, what I'm meeting is your ability to buy it. So now I'm going to start producing this thing. Now, if all of you guys are out buying something, okay, what does that mean to the market?
That's a good price set.
Yeah, so what happens if one place is selling something for too much, Nicole? What are you going to do? You're going to go to a different store. So you guys, by demanding, could create variety. You guys following me here? Because now all of a sudden these stores are carrying it, but they're not going to carry, if one store carries it for too high of a price, so because you guys can go someplace else, you guys are going to affect the prices. Because if that store doesn't do something to adjust to it, they're going to go out of business. Because you guys aren't buying there anymore. Make sense? That's why when you guys go to a store, one thing you'll notice, a lot of stores will have very similar prices for items. Okay? Because if I'm a supplier, and let's say I supply, Libby, you own Safeway, Devin, you own Rayleigh's, you own Bel Air, you own Save Mart. Okay? I don't want you guys competing with each other so much that all of a sudden only one of you have business. When all of you have a good, steady business, that's good for me. Right? The supplier. I want all of you to do well. Because instead of Libby buying all of my goods, now I've lost 3 other buyers. Does this make sense? But when all of you are buying my goods, I'm happy. And is that good for the economy? Because if you 3 have to close and you guys own big grocery stores, what is that going to happen to your human capital? People will lose jobs. And see, Nicole, the other day when I was talking about gas prices at a pizza place, when they lose jobs, they'll stop going into their cars and driving to pizza places on a Friday night and buying pizza because they won't have enough money for gas. So there's a ripple effect. Not only did I lose my job, but now gas prices are higher. Not only are gas prices higher, but because gas prices are higher, pizza prices cost more because the pizza parlors have to raise their prices because now their suppliers are charging more because their suppliers have to pay for the gas that's now more expensive. Does this make sense?
What if you stop going to the gas station?
You stop going to the gas station, well that means what? What are you not doing?
Getting gas.
You're not getting gas, which probably means what? What else?
I'm saying if you stop going to the gas station.
Oh, the expensive ones? So here's how places market. You guys know Chevron?
Yeah.
Okay? You guys have heard of Chevron, right? You've seen those gasoline stations. Okay? Libby, I got a question for you.
What?
Because do you drive?
No.
You're not driving
I'm
yet?
close to it.
You're close to it? Well, look, anybody who drives, or anybody who's been with your parents when they're driving and they're getting gas,
Gas is
gas is expensive. Now, what's more expensive, Chevron or AMPM? You guys know?
My mom goes to Chevron, she puts 50 on a truck.
Okay.
And that's super.
Okay, so, oh, she buys super. Okay, so here's the thing. So here's what Chevron markets. AMPM's a hell of a lot more, is a hell of a lot cheaper. Okay, now what Chevron says is they have a higher quality of gas. So I have an uncle who only buys Chevron gas. And he says it's better gas, it's better for your engine. And there's other people who say BS, gas is gas. So then it all becomes about marketing. So here's the thing. Chevron can do that because right now, Chevron exists because why? What's happening at Chevron that allows them to exist?
People buy it.
People are buying it, people are consuming it. They have consumers. Okay? So they're filling a need. Not everybody is going to AMPM. Okay? But what would happen if people stopped buying gas? It probably means that people are not driving. I got a question for you guys. You guys live in Sacramento. Think about where you live, your neighborhood. Whether you're driving or not, will you need a car? So Friday night rolls around. Let's say you're living where you live. Do you need a car to get to places?
Yeah.
There's other transportation.
There's other transportation, you're right. There's other transportation, but like, are places close enough? Like, here are the factors that affect people. It's Friday night. I want to go out. Is there a place where I can walk to? Okay, like if I don't have a car?
It doesn't depend on the neighborhood you live.
Why? That's a really good point. That was my next one. Go with it. Well, let me ask you something. On a Friday night, if you're making minimum wage, okay, you guys, we did our budget. Do you guys think you're going to be living in really nice neighborhoods? So maybe on a Friday night, you want to walk through a neighborhood that isn't safe?
Yeah.
Good luck. Good luck with that.
You're
okay?
white, you'll get shanked and robbed.
Okay.
That's a very racist statement.
Yeah, that is.
Bye-bye.
What? My mom's half white, so take.
No. It's not because, so what you're assuming is that
White people can't stay up.
non-white people are going to shank and rob you.
I never said.
No, but that's the implication. You said you're white, you're gonna get shanked and robbed. So what the assumption is, what, you don't think white people shank and rob people?
I never said a white person did it. I
Okay.
never said a black or a Mexican or a
I didn't say you did. I said, but the implication.
So everybody can shank it.
But why would they shank him because he's white?
And that's what I'm saying.
Probably has money.
That's racist.
That's not
Not all
racist.
white people
Yeah,
have
see, now you're playing, that is a racist statement. I want you to think about, no, you know what you're doing? You're profiling. You're profiling.
I get profiled every day. So
Yeah, it's like a freaking juvenile delinquent. Sometimes you.
Hey, Ernesto, so here's what's gonna happen. You're right. I mean, bye-bye. I'm not gonna doubt that you don't get profiled each day. That's the problem with profiling. Because right now, if I were to look at you, what she just said, you look like, she's kind of kidding, right? She's kind of taking a dig at you. But when you get profiled, that sucks, right?
I don't really care to be honest.
No, I'm just, okay, well, that's fine. But doesn't it kind of suck? Ernesto? Okay. All right. And here's the other thing. Ernesto, can you stop for a minute?